Boarded the 743 from Pierre-Lorraine for Rosewater, Western Vespuccia. No baggage to speak of, in the literal or metaphorical sense. Just a little hope. And that doesn't take up much space. Much has been said about the western frontier, the perilous wilderness, the lawless towns, and the tough, hardened folk who make their way out there, usually to get away from something worse. I suppose I'm about to become one of them myself. There's just one thing Rosewater's got that no place else has: an opportunity with my name on it. The thoughts in my head are running together like the landscape outside the window. Excitement and trepidation and boredom mixing like the scrub and rocks and soil into one long blur. One thing I know, I am ready for a change of scene. Huh. Quiet.
Howdy, ma'am. Allow me to extend the warmest of welcomes on behalf of the town of Rosewater and its inhabitants. Folks call me Jem. And who do I have the honor of greeting?
Harley Leger.
Delighted to make your acquaintance. Might I assist you with your luggage? That is, if you've got any.
I don't.
Ah, right. Well, what brings you to our fair town, Mrs. Leger?
Miss. And I'm here about a job.
Planning on sticking around, huh? Say, what line of work are you in?
If you must know, well, I write. There's an opening at the Rosewater Post.
Well, best of luck with that. The editor at that place ain't somebody you want to cross.
Then we ought to get along fine.
I'm sure you will. But as official town greeter, allow me to offer a small caution. Rosewater ain't always such a sleepy little town.
Hey!
Say, I've just remembered another engagement.
This how you welcome new arrivals? I have a mind to give you a thrashing. All right, enough of that. Look, I was no choir girl. But I had the good sense not to get caught. Word of advice, kid. Don't pick your mark in broad daylight, especially not at a lawman's doorstep. Go on, beat it, or I really will give you something to cry about. Now, where in the ether is that damn publisher's office?
Howdy, stranger. Fresh off the train?
Yes, sir.
Come on in then. Let's have a chat. I'm Sheriff Gamble.
Harley Leger.
Pleasure. Just passing through, or?
I'm here about a job.
Well now, that's refreshing. Few come to Rosewater these days with the intent of staying long. How are you finding our town?
I can't say much for the welcoming committee.
Beg pardon?
I wasn't in your town but 2 minutes when I was accosted by a pair of gutter snipes. They should thank their lucky stars I was in a good mood.
I keep telling Jim to stop with that town greeter malarkey, but that boy's got a head harder than granite. I've been too soft. I ought to throw him in lockup until he gets his head on straight.
Trust me, that'll only make things worse. Besides, I don't think they've yet written a statute outlawing vexatiousness.
You've a forgiving nature, Miss Leger. Anyhow, welcome to Rosewater. If you run into any more trouble, come and see me.
Looks like a pretty rough sort. This fellow still at large?
Yep, but I reckon he's left the province.
Fancy yourself a lepidopterist?
Ha! Hardly. Picked that display up from a passing rag and bone man. But I like when the sun shines on their wings just so. Real thing of beauty.
Does this license mean you went to sheriff's school?
No, it means I was officially elected to the position by the people of this town. The paper is really just a formality.
Doesn't look too comfy, but I guess that's the point. Not a bad view. Those are some stern-looking ladies. Hey, Sheriff?
Yes, ma'am?
Who are the people in this photo?
Those are my sisters, Lord bless them. Reba married an oil man. I think they're living in some big mansion on the coast somewhere. Irma's a real sweetheart. Don't think I ever met a kinder soul. I hope she's doing well. Mary was always my favorite. The trouble we used to get into when we was kids.
Impressive collection. Hey, Sheriff?
Huh?
What's the story with these guns?
Now these are standard issue repeaters. Pretty powerful rifles. Thankfully, I've yet to use one in the line of duty. Wouldn't want to be on the receiving end of one of these.
So they do have the law here, in theory at least. I hope that isn't the town water supply. Looks sturdy, but there's some rot creeping around the handles. This padlock's not going anywhere, not without encouragement. Nothing inside but a colony of ants. Shame, I could go for a sarsaparilla.
Oh, hello there. Don't think I've seen you around before.
Just arrived in town. Name's Harley Leger. And you're Dr. Sedgwick?
At your service. Welcome to Rosewater and to my clinic. Anything in particular ailing you today?
I could use something cool to drink. It's hot as blazes, and I am this close to having a conniption.
You'll want to visit the Jack of Diamonds at the end of the thoroughfare. My stock doesn't offer much in the way of refreshment, I'm afraid.
Wouldn't expect to hear a doctor prescribing a visit to the saloon.
A sarsaparilla or weak beer, drunk in moderation, can be a perfectly healthful and thirst-quenching beverage. I'd recommend it over water in any case.
That's impressively clean.
Cleanliness is next to godliness, as they say, and good health starts with good hygiene.
Quite a variety of potions and tonics you've got here, Doc.
It's only a small part of the bounteous pharmacopoeia that nature might make available to us, if only we knew her secrets. There is so much to be discovered.
Medical College of Wicks? Never heard of it.
It's in central Rotterdam. Not quite the University of New Bretagne, but then what is?
What's in the pouch?
Oh, just some supplies for house calls and emergencies. Please, don't touch that, Miss Leger.
Well, that's just disgusting.
Not disgusting, it's fascinating, awe-inspiring.
To each his own. Hey, Doc.
Miss Leger.
Got any knowledge to impart about Rosewater?
Oh, well, it's a fine town.
You don't sound too enthused.
I'm sure you'll find plenty to see and do here.
Give it to me straight, Doc. I want to know your thoughts on this place. Warts and all.
Were Rosewater one of my patients, I would say the prognosis is not good. Not since all the Aurum claims dried up and the airship routes opened, leapfrogging over our rail line. The hangers-on keep this place gasping for breath, but I fear they only prolong the inevitable. I hope I haven't discouraged you, but you did ask my opinion.
If things are so bad, why not pick up and move elsewhere?
I swore an oath to do no harm, Miss Leger. As the town's only physician, leaving would mean abandoning my patients. There may not be many left to call on my services, but when they do, I am the only barrier standing between them and the grave.
Isn't that a bit dramatic, Doc?
Say what you will. I know where I stand on the matter.
You must know all about the townsfolk.
I am well acquainted with all their ailments, proclivities, and vices. But if you're just seeking gossip, you'll have to find it elsewhere.
I'll see you later, Doc.
Do take care of yourself.
Holy hell! Are you all right, mister? Rough break, fella. I've got important business inside, so if you'll excuse me.
Hello, can I help you with something?
I'm here about the writing commission.
Ah, yes, you must be Miss Leger. I believe you and Joni exchanged some correspondence on the matter already, yes?
Yep, got the letter right here.
May I see it, please?
I've got that letter here somewhere.
Take your time. Just let me see it when you found it.
October 25th, 1850. Dear Miss Leger, thank you for submitting your sample. Your writing shows real potential. I'd like to extend an invitation to meet with me at the offices of the Rosewater Post and discuss the possibility of an extended commission. How soon can you arrive in town? I await your reply and look forward to making your acquaintance. Yours, Joan Gallagher.
Very good. Oh, one more thing. Joni's not one for formalities. First names will do.
Noted.
Go up those stairs and knock.
Thanks. What's your name?
Henry Dixon, ma'am. Pleasure to make your acquaintance.
Likewise.
Miss Leger,
Mr. Dixon?
I thought you intended to see Joan.
I do, but I just remembered something else of import.
All right, but fair warning, Joni isn't the type to wait around forever. Good to see you again.
Come in.
Hello, Joan. I'm Harley Leger.
Ah, yes. Nice to finally put a face to the name. Please take a load off. Whiskey?
Bit early for me, but thanks all the same.
Sensible. I like that. I, however, have had a morning, so if you don't mind. Say, have we met before? Something about you seems familiar.
I don't believe so, no.
Well, let's get down to the meat and potatoes, shall we? If you're going to join our little family here, I'd like to know more about you.
Me? Well, I was born and raised in New Bretagne. Got out, made my way west, and started writing. I saw your ad while I was up in Pierre. Thought a change of scenery would do me good.
Well, admittedly, Rosewater isn't as cosmopolitan as it used to be, but maybe you'll find it to your liking.
There hasn't been a dull moment since I stepped off the train.
Speaking of, your writing sample had me in stitches. I haven't spent much time in Lamplight City myself, but your descriptions of the toffs in Lyon, hilarious.
That piece was inspired by my last visit a few years ago, actually.
Oh? What brought that about?
I had to go back and settle my late brother's affairs.
Oh, I'm sorry. I hope it wasn't in connection with that awful business at the Lamplight City Expo.
Oh, no, it was before that.
The Expo disaster was a national tragedy, of course. But you know, I can't help remembering it as the week our paper sold more copies than it has before or since. Isn't that terrible? But enough about that. Let's get back to why we're here. I loved your sample, and I like you as well, Harley. So I'm going to go ahead and offer you a commission. I'll pay you 45 crowns for it. After that, we can talk about more regular opportunities.
Fantastic. So, what's my assignment? A scathing commentary on Rosewater's decline? Or maybe a hard-hitting expose on the plight of the marginalized criminal youth?
Oh, no. Nothing like that. I want you to interview Gentleman Jake Ackerman.
Who?
Oh, the other one. You've been living under a rock. He's a true Western legend. The Achilles of our times. We've got a real opportunity here. Star like that landing in our little town. I'd like something in the vein of your sample. Acerbic and mordant. But maybe not quite so acerbic.
So, a puff piece.
Good, you're paying attention. I want you to make Rosewater look good too. Show me a real frontier hero in a real frontier town.
Where can I find this Jake fellow?
He's taking rooms at the Jack of Diamonds just down the road. And his show is opening today at the Opera House. So he should be around for an interview. I don't know how you're situated here, but you're welcome to use the typewriter in the office.
I only write longhand, but I'd certainly be grateful for a quiet place to work.
Longhand. How charming. Now, if you have any questions before you go, by all means, ask.
So, who is the man that went out your window? Not another writer, I hope.
Oh, God, no. You're the only applicant we've had. Don't worry about him. Just a rabble-rouser with an axe to grind. Thought he could burst in here railing about my journalistic integrity. Most folks stick to writing letters to the editor. I tried to calm him down, but... well, it didn't go that way.
I see. The Rosewater Post reported on the Lamplight City Expo?
It was only the biggest story that year. I've still got copies of the article saved. Here, read it for yourself.
Can I keep this?
Frame it if you like.
Any insight you can give me about the town?
It's a far cry from what it used to be. In a way, it's nice not having to hear the noise from the saloon at all hours, but... oh, I don't know. Folk who moved on took some of the charm with them.
What about the folks who stayed behind?
What about him?
I was hoping for more details.
Far as you're concerned, the only person in Rosewater worth knowing right now is Jake Ackerman. If you're so keen to know about the rest, go meet him for yourself.
I'm curious, how did the Rosewater Post get its start?
Well, my dad was a union man. He worked the printing press for the Allied Fall Creek Miners Cooperative. Pamphlets, labour news, that sort of thing. Then the mine owners brought the Blackburns in to bust the whole operation up. My dad was laid up for months and could never work again after. But we still had to eat, didn't we? I took all the equipment from the old shop and started printing up an early version of the Post just to bring a little money in. At first, it was all just community notices and advertisements from local stores. Over time, I got the hang of the whole journalism thing and turned it into a real newspaper.
I don't want to seem ungrateful, but couldn't I write about something else? My style's more observational than, talking to people. I don't know that that's really my strong suit.
We're talking, aren't we? If you want to write for this paper, you're simply going to have to stretch yourself beyond what you might be accustomed to. Besides, it's not as if you have to say anything particularly brilliant. Just get your subject talking and take notes. Finish this assignment and maybe the next one will be more to your liking.
I'd best be on my way.
Right you are. Wait a minute.
What?
It's just come to me. I know why you look familiar. You're Spitfire Harley.
Goodness. It's been a long time since anyone called me that.
I saw you fighting back in 26 at Wellesley Hall in the Chum. You took out a brute twice your size with a right hook. Pow! It was like watching David bring down Goliath.
I appreciate the kind words, but that was another life.
Maybe so, but for a 14-year-old kid fresh off the boat, it was pretty damn inspirational.
Thanks, Joan. Appreciate it.
Of course. And please call me Joni.
Is this the first edition of the Rosewater Post?
Yep, March 30th, 1845. One of the best days of me life.
The New Bretagne Gazette, keeping tabs on the competition?
Hardly. I kept that issue because they mentioned my paper.
You support Leroy?
I'm a proud Labourite, sure. I'll admit he hasn't been my favourite PM. But the way things were going with Atwood and the Treatise, this place would have been swallowed up by an automated newspaper conglomerate. Labour Party gets me vote any day of the week.
Fair enough. The New Bretagne Gazette, keeping tabs on the competition?
Hardly.
Hey, that's Devil's Tooth. I passed it on the train right here.
Quite a sight, isn't it?
Nice typewriter.
A first. Good old Sheldon Model 4.
Fascinating device.
Isn't it just? To think, I can send messages from here to Bright Bay with the press of a lever.
What will they think of next? That's quite a stick.
A memento from my grandfather, back in County Donegal. Comes in handy now and again.
See you later, Joni.
Take care of yourself out there. Spitfire Harley, writing for my paper. Now don't that just beat all?
Cozy. Unless I want to write a piece of pure fiction, I should probably collect some material first.
Was your meeting satisfactory, ma'am?
Quite so. Did you find any of those butterscotch sweets I asked for?
Afraid not. Only taffy and some peppermints.
Pity. This place seems to lack even the smallest of pleasures. Shall we?
Shabby, but I've been to worse. Food delivery for the lazy. These seem to be for decoration more than anything else. These seem to be for decoration more than anything else. Food delivery for the lazy. Now that is mighty tempting. Excuse me, kid, I need to get upstairs.
I'm really sorry, miss, but Mr. Ackerman's not taking any more meetings right now.
I'm here on behalf of the Rosewater Post.
Did you make an appointment?
No, I just got the assignment.
Okay, look, Mr. Ackerman's upstairs getting ready for his show. It starts in less than Why don't you come by and watch? You can come meet him afterwards.
I just need to interview him for a newspaper article.
Well, now, that's perfect. If you're going to write about him, you should definitely see the show. Trust me, he's a real dazzler.
Suppose it beats waiting around here. I bet that piano hasn't been tuned since the De Leon administration. She's making the best of it, though. Scenes from the wild country, a night campfire, a wild horse, and a bear in the mountains. Sure would be something to see all that up close and personal. Except maybe the bear. Someone's hunting trophy. The local populace getting sloshed. I bet that piano hasn't been tuned since the De Leon administration. She's making the best of it, though. You again?
Oh, hey, Harmony, was it?
Harley. What in the ether are you doing here?
Oh, you're not still sore about earlier.
You bet your scrawny ass I am.
Look, nothing personal. My brother and me are just doing our best to get by.
Hang on. Your brother? I ought to knock you into a cocked hat.
Hey, you gotta look out for number one.
You picked the wrong mark, but I can let that go. Hell, with a little effort, you two could be halfway decent grifters. But if there's one thing turns my stomach, it's disloyalty. That's your flesh and blood. If you don't have your own brothers back, who else on this wretched earth is going to give a flip if you're alive or dead?
You made your point. Now can we drop it already? I'm trying to do an actual legitimate job here.
Legitimate job? So you're not selling snake oil or stock tips or fire insurance?
Nah, nothing like that. I'm selling tickets to Gentleman Jake's legendary Wild West show. Only 20 coppers.
Wait here. I'll be back.
I look forward to it.
Hey, kid.
Yeah?
I'll take one of those tickets.
Swell! And when would you like to come see the show?
Whenever it starts?
Oh, you mean today? Oh, well, I'm afraid I gotta disappoint you there. Sold the last of today's tickets not 10 minutes before you walked up.
Seriously?
Seriously, this ain't exactly the Coliseum. It only fits so many, and folks around here are real excited to see Gentleman Jake in person.
All right, look. I don't need to see some yahoo firing off his pea shooter. I just want to talk to this Jake fellow.
And I'm sure Gentleman Jake would be happy to meet you if you had a ticket to get in. Course, I might be able to sneak you in quiet-like, but I'd be putting my job on the line, and I can't afford to lose it now. After all, I have my little brother to look after.
Just tell me what you want.
Only a small favor.
Spit it out.
Just help me retrieve something. A small item of... It's only my pa's pocket watch. Family heirloom, you see.
What happened to it?
It was stolen is what? By that one-eyed scalawag Lola Johnson. Probably stashed it away in the old smithy. She's been squatting in there for weeks now.
The blacksmith's got a giant padlock on the door.
So?
So I'm not breaking into private property?
I told you the place is abandoned. Lola's squatting in there. Besides, it's not really breaking in if you're retrieving something stolen. Sheriff Gamble won't trouble himself over it, trust me. And if you run into Lola, I'm sure someone like you can handle her.
Where'd your brother get to? Keeping out of trouble?
Matter of fact, he's trying to make good after that screw-up earlier. Decided he's gonna try and get Pa's watch back all by himself. He's real tore up over losing it.
And you're letting him risk his neck again? He'll be collared in no time. Like as not, you'll never see him again.
Oh, I know. I tried talking sense into him, but he's dead set on it. Wants to prove himself. But he'll be in real hot water if he gets caught, which he probably will. That's why I'm asking you to do it before he goes and does something stupid. I can tell you could pull it off.
You and your brother can go hang for all I care. But I want in this theater, so I'll do it.
Swell. You know where to find me.
Dr. Bennett Clark, Master of Ethericity. Oh, right, the Ethericity fellow. I didn't know he was working out here. For 20 coppers, it had better be one hell of a show. Betrayal, murder, revenge, classic stuff. Never works out that way in real life. Never heard of this one. Business seems slow today. Probably a good thing. Soft drink crates, a sugary, fizzy way to beat the heat. Looks sturdy, but there's some rot creeping around the handles.
Welcome back, Miss Leger.
What a peculiar decoration. Hey, Sheriff?
Yes, ma'am?
Why have you got a horseshoe hanging above the door?
Ah, glad you asked. My grandpappy told me a story about a blacksmith who was visited by the devil. The devil asked the smith to make him a horseshoe for his own hoofed feet, you see. So, the blacksmith took a red-hot horseshoe and nailed it straight onto one of his hooves. The devil howled out in pain. He begged the blacksmith to take it off again. The smith agreed, but on one condition. The devil must always respect the horseshoe and never enter any place where one is hung above the door. Hell of a story, wouldn't you say?
Hey, Sheriff?
What can I do you for?
Were you aware that a man was thrown from the window at the Rosewater Post?
Is that right? Who was it?
Never saw him before. Looked New Spanish.
Is he alive?
Hell if I know. I didn't want to get involved. But he was gone when I came back out, so he must have crawled away or something.
Sounds like I need to have some words with Joni.
Thanks for the chat, Sheriff.
Come back anytime.
Can't be a good sign when even the blacksmith goes out of business. No shoes for you, horsies. See, you've gotten a new patient since my last visit.
Indeed. Had a nasty fall from the Rosewater Post's second-floor window. Never a dull moment around here.
Hey, can you hear me?
Oh, I wouldn't try talking to him just now, Miss Leger. I gave him a mild narcotic to numb the pain. He'll be out of sorts for a while.
He doesn't look half bad, all things considered.
No, he was lucky. Once I'm done here and the laudanum wears off, he should be right as rain.